Be confident. I'm sure just about every man or boy has heard those words, and a fair number of women as well. Somebody wants you to do something, or you're showing nervousness about an upcoming challenge, or some guy on the internet is giving advice about how to attract the pretty ladies. But what does that even mean, to be confident? Webster's dictionary defines it as a feeling or consciousness of one's powers, or of reliance on one's circumstances, which is a pretty good place to start. There's a big difference between true confidence, which is something entirely internal, and bravado, which is displaying all the signs of being confident, while inwardly you're unsure. We've all met that person who talks a big game, but falls to nervous pieces as soon as they have to perform. And we likewise almost all know a person who keeps their mouth shut, but rarely fails to deliver. Confounding the idea of confidence is that our understanding of our capabilities is not always correct. Have you ever listened in amusement or frustration as a person states an incorrect fact with complete conviction? They're confident in their knowledge, and yet they are completely wrong. The same false confidence can lead people to attempt physical actions that will get them severely injured, or to give instructions to other people that will lead them to harm. And then you've got the people who mistake arrogance for confidence. They're so full of themselves that they assume that most tasks are achievable for them, combining the worst parts of the braggart and the falsely confident. But confidence does not come from pride. It's the other way around. The positive aspects of pride stem from confidence, from knowing that you are capable of great things and the feeling of satisfaction in that knowledge. Confidence, true confidence, comes from accurately assessing what you are capable of doing and the extent and accuracy of what you know. Sometimes the confidence is strong and exact, such as an athlete firmly stating that they can run a mile within a specific time. Sometimes the confidence is a bit more open-ended, such as an engineer declaring that they can most likely design a part within the specified tolerances. In either case, the confidence that they show comes from having faced such a challenge many times before, or at least one that's similar. Besides building proficiency from repetition, practice creates confidence by showing you that you are capable. You've done it, and you know how difficult it is for you. And an important part of practice is to push your capabilities further in an environment where failure isn't catastrophic. And it's not just in the physical realm that you need to probe your limits and expand them. Testing your understanding of a topic or expanding beyond the familiar to find new disciplines to add to your existing knowledge is a great way to increase your confidence. Practicing speaking with the opposite sex and attempting to understand them will give you that confidence that is so attractive and desirable, and it'll help you in ways beyond confidence as well. So, you need to do what it takes to know yourself and to improve yourself. Along those same lines, the healthy inverse of knowing what you're capable of is knowing what you're not capable of. I am confident that I cannot deliberately perform a jump on ice skates. This removes a lot of doubt from the mind and prevents us from pursuing foolhardy actions. Even more, if knowing our limits reveals a deficit that needs to be rectified, then steps can be taken to become capable. A man who knows that he is not flexible can begin stretching until he can do the splits. A man who knows that he cannot speak the language of the country he is moving to can begin his lessons. This understanding and public acknowledgement of one's shortcomings or weaknesses is an important aspect of humility. So then, if you know what you can do and what you cannot do, what comes next? First, you can start filling in the most vital gaps in your abilities. Wherever you have a deficiency in your physical, mental, or spiritual life, you can, and should, begin seeking a remedy. Once you have a baseline of capability that you are content with, you can begin seeking mastery in your interests or professional capabilities. Wherever you go from there, you'll be able to trust in yourself to accomplish the tasks before you. In a more general case, once you have assessed yourself or asked for advice from people who care for you and have addressed your shortcomings, you can be confident in your ability to handle the majority of daily life. You do not need to live in fear or nervousness. You do not need to worry or dread yet another disaster. How freeing a feeling it is to no longer have fear dominating your mind. Once your daily life is secured and you begin building your capabilities and confidence beyond the baseline, you'll have a new sense of well-being. There is value in being capable of accomplishing a difficult task, but even more valuable is being able to simply and confidently perform that task for those who need it done. And that group includes yourself, as the most difficult task set before you may be incredibly personal. But properly held confidence has to account for failure. There is always a chance for failure, especially when in competition with similarly driven and confident people. Even without the direct involvement of others, you can encounter unforeseen difficulties and complications, and even random events that spoil a successful attempt. We live in an imperfect world, and even perfect effort does not always succeed. When success eludes you, your confidence will often be shaken and tested. Do not let your confidence fade. The sprinter who comes in fourth place in the Olympics is still the fourth fastest runner in the entire world, and they can be confident in knowing that they are a phenomenal athlete. You are no less capable than you were before, though new means of improvement may be revealed to you. Even the most skilled surgeons lose patience on the operating table, and sometimes it is due to a mistake that they made. Some lose their confidence and leave the profession, but this does not reduce the number of people who need surgery. Those who correct their shortcomings, restore their confidence, and press forward will continue to save lives and benefit those in need. For a personal example, when I started this planter box, I was confident that I would be able to complete it and that it would be of usable quality. I had a general plan, but I didn't know how I was going to assemble it or even how I was going to build the bottom. I made a variety of mistakes, from a poor initial design to improperly using tools and techniques, but I learned a great deal about woodworking and working cedar in particular, and I am confident that I'll do a better job on my next attempt. I think one of the most important aspects of confidence is to be self-assured. If you are relying entirely on the praise and comforting words of others, it's very easy to mistake that feeling for confidence, only for it all to collapse at the first sign of adversity. External validation feels nice, to be sure, and it's a good way to get feedback from a different perspective, but it is no substitute for actual confidence. True, constructive, and positive confidence must come from within, and it takes effort to cultivate it. It takes effort to test your bounds, to shore up your shortcomings, to build yourself into a functional and capable human being. It takes even more effort to master a physical or mental discipline, or to become proficient in a variety of things. But that effort is well worth it, for the quiet and solid confidence that it brings that will set you up for success. One of the many quotables from The Art of War is, "Know your enemy and know yourself, and you will not be defeated in 1,000 battles." It's obvious that knowing the capabilities of your opponent is vital, but if you do not know your own capabilities, then success is much more elusive. Just as a general who knows what his army is capable of will march confidently to battle, so you too can march confidently into the trials of life, knowing what you yourself can do. There are many unknowns in life, so what you consider to be a baseline level of competence will vary according to your situation. There are many life coaches you can turn to find out where you should be, though I recommend you examine their advice according to your own life and adapt it as necessary. But once you've determined where you should be and where you are and where you want to be, please put in the effort to achieve that. The confidence you receive will elevate you and make everything that follows just that much better. So until next time, take care and God bless.